Well, the little sign says I'm live, so good evening, everybody, and welcome to a lot warmer West Sussex than what we've had for the past couple of months. So I'm hoping Andy's not nodded off because here he is in the background, hiding, or sort of hiding, but
Yeah,
he's
I'm
going
here.
to he's going to earworm for me tonight as normal and keep me informed of what's going on the chat. So let's dump him in the background again, and then bring on the cameras. Now you'll have to excuse me because they've all gone back to front, but I think this one shows you what we got up to last Tuesday before I had to do a bit of a runner to get the wife into hospital, which ended up as just a few bits and pieces done, nothing major. ECG, which came back as virtually clear. So that's the health update on that. This is the cherry one I did, and that all I've done on that is just finish sanding to 400 and given it a coat of sanding sealer. And if we go over to the other one, which is possibly that one. No, it's not. It's that one. That shows you the oak one that I did and coloured the bottom half with the magic fluid, which is vinegar and steel wool infused in it. So we'll stop on this one. I'll just go and get some glasses and the mouse so that I can work it from this end. I can't see out my glasses, covered in sawdust. So what are we going to do with this one? Well, the oak looks quite nice, the black looks quite nice. So I think what I want to do is just to liven up the top, and I'm going to go over it with some yellow dye. Now I've got Mylands, it's the first one that come to hand, but any of the spirit dyes would work. It's probably not the best one because I want to try and brush it on rather than squirt it on, and then I can just paint round the oak, and I found that just lightens up the oak a bit and gives it a little bit more definition. So while I'm playing with this, I'll get the boy, young Andy, to read out and go through the chat. Let us know who's in.
Yep, I'll do that, and I wouldn't mind that, but I'm older than you are.
Only just.
Yeah, only just. Oh yeah, there's not a lot in it.
No.
Right. Okay, I'll go through the live chat. So excuse me if I hesitate, but lots of repeats. But participants have only got about 8 people in it. So Gerard, French Turner, Brian Watkins, Lawrence Bugasia, Tommy's Workshop, Paul Hyton, the Grisby Turner, Colin Izzard, Chris Charlton, 10:33. So that's nearly bedtime, isn't it? 10:33.
Well, for some people, yeah. Or they're just getting up.
Yeah, one or the other. Yeah. That was Neil M. James Crawford. Door 60. Same names. Woodworm Paul. Tony Smith.
Is that the Tony Smith from West Sussex Woodturners? Because
I don't know.
we have a Tony Smith, and I'm not quite sure.
Okay, well, let us know, Tony, if you are from West Sussex Woodturners, or even if you're not. But you're very welcome anyway.
Oh yeah,
Barry
there's no.
Barry Chitty,
Hello, Barry. You normally watch this on repeat, don't you? So
Malcolm Douglas. Yes, he
welcome
does.
to Alive.
Tommy Neil M. Philip Clements. Good morning, all from Oz.
That's a new name.
Yes, I don't know that one. Philip Clements, an Australian, another Australian. Glad to have you along, Philip.
We're not fussy.
Stuart Angry. Linnykins, you might have heard of her.
Okay, hi kiddo.
Nick Castle. Hello again, all. Feels a bit that way when we've been on at lunchtime, doesn't it?
So while Andy's finishing
that's
reading
it.
that out, okay, I'm going to just gilt in silver. This one's chestnut, the black, and then I can see how that works. This is a bit old and a little bit dry, but I'm hoping that
Was it
it
a
will
wax
in. Yeah.
Oh yeah, gilt cream. Yeah. Yep.
Just on the black.
Tony Smith says yes, it's me.
Okay. Hi, Tony.
Hello, Tony. See you on Sunday.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Unless he's taxi driving. Because if I'm right, Tony Smith is the taxi driver. That's what made me question it. Because Tony's been up to me in lockdown and got some wood off of me. He's raided my store and cleared up some bits that I'd got that he wanted. So it's nice to know that it's the same Tony Smith.
Yep, and
hopefully
Roy's the
your
boy.
wood turn-ins coming on well, Tony, because you hadn't done a lot and you wanted to practice a bit, so hopefully you've had a bit of time.
Roy's the boy is in.
Oh, he's early again today.
Yeah, he is.
He's getting
slipping
into this practice. Yep. So that's a thin coat, but worked in well on the black. I'm not touching the yellow with it. So let's put the lid on before I fill it up with shavings, because I'm good at that. And find another bit of raw paper, and then with it on slow, just
it all back off again.
Burnish a lot of it off. And I want to let that dry before we put any finish on it. It's come off quite well.
It's looking good, yeah. It's just in the grain, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is what you need.
If it doesn't come off easy, the answer is to use another wax to lift it off.
Yeah, although Wayne's tip was to use lemon oil.
Yep.
And I've done that a couple of times and it really works. So it's another way of doing it.
I think with lemon oil, you've got to be a little bit careful if you want to put a wax on top of it again, because I want to wax this to finish it.
I have waxed it again afterwards, and it's been fine.
Okay.
Kitey's shed is in.
Oh yeah. So I've got to wait for that to dry now, because that is not quite dry, the stain. So what I'm going to do is going to wander over to the other one. I'm fairly fortunate having the two lathes and two setups. So let's see if we can find that one. Which I think is that camera.
Tony Smith's not a taxi driver, he's an HGV driver.
Okay. Oh, it's close.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah, just
it's got wheels
scale,
on it.
really, isn't it?
Yeah. So this one has just been sanding sealed, and that is really dried. So I'm just going to lightly go over that with a bit of Weebrax, just to denib it, and that is very lightly. because I'm going to put some wax on the way I have always done it with a Weebrax pad.
Mhm.
So that has just knocked back anything. I don't know whether you can see that little mark there, but it's a little bit punky through there. You can just see it on that section at the base. So there's 3 or 4 growth rings that have just picked up a little bit of punkiness in the bottom. I'm not worried about that because at the end of the day, you can always turn that to the back.
Yeah, and it's obviously natural anyway, isn't it? Also,
Yeah,
natural.
the best piece
it's
is
in the
actually
timber,
this
yeah.
face, which has got the green on it. So I might even invest in a new piece of Weebrax. That's
Well,
got a
steady
lot
on.
of dust in it, I know. So
It's only
I'll
done a few years.
use the bit that I've just denibbed it with. So a little bit of
Oh, that's better. You wiping your finger around like that, it's focused on the timber better instead of on
right.
the floor. So yeah, that's good.
Okay. So
That worked.
a little bit of wax on there. And what this does is it wet sands. Now I don't want to go too heavy on the texturing that we put in. Obviously want to get some wax in there, but I don't want to go absolutely berserk and take it off. So that's a complete coat of wax on there. Increase the volume, work it in, denibbing as we go. You can see the shine coming on it through here.
Oh, Doug Miller's in.
Hi Doug. Hi everybody. And thank you all for coming across to support us. We're not doing this for us. We're doing it to show you different methods that can be used, that we all use, that we used to use. I mean, this is my method that I used when I first started turning 30 odd years ago, because we didn't have the likes of the abrasive paste that we have now. Didn't have Yorkshire grit or anything like that. It's a fairly new transition into the world of 21st century turning.
Yeah, the kitchen
Certainly
scour and
works.
wax was a very traditional way of doing things, wasn't it?
Yep.
I remember being taught that one when I was at college.
And it does work. And I've got quite a few tins of paste wax. So that's what I tend to do. So the Weebrax pad lives in the wax. And the wax I'm using tonight is bison, fine bison neutral. Doesn't need to be that one. It can be any of them. Just need a bit of paper to lightly take it off. Now don't go silly and scrub it off, because you can take more off than what you're putting on with the paper if you're not careful. The idea is to wax it to leave a shine, which is what we're doing, rather than wax it and take it all off again. And it's easier and better to put 2 coats of wax on than one heavy, thick coat. You get a far better finish, and it stands up far better and gives you a shine far better.
It's also easier to apply.
Yeah.
And to finish, to rub it back off. It's not too thick.
The problem is that texturing has picked up a little bit of paper.
Oh, good, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, RPM Woodworks Ray is in.
Hello, Ray. Don't want that one. That one. So I've got a little brush, a little bronze brush, which I'm hoping will take it off. Take it out. If not, we have to start again. And it's not.
Benjamin says, do you have any gilt cream to put in the texturing?
Yes, I have. I've
Yes,
only got silver. And that might be the answer to it. I don't know whether the camera's picking it up very well, but it is brushing out because the angle of the cut is like that.
It's
So
all
I'm
going in one
brushing with
direction,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah, I'm brushing with it. So I think
yeah, it's looking better.
I've shifted enough to perhaps put some, like we did the other one, some gilt cream in it. That wasn't the plan, but I think it's going to be the updated plan. So that it can be salvaged rather than waste it.
Yep.
Sort of thinking on the go. So this is the silver. It's actually what we used on the other piece. That shouldn't pick up on the wax that's already been applied.
Wood turning by Barry is in.
Hi guys.
Hello, Barry.
So things do go wrong, particularly live.
Yes.
But this is how I get over it. Or a method that can be used to get over it. So it's just massaging the gilt cream in into the texture, which seems to go on forever when you're going around at this speed. But,
yes.
We have got to the end. I didn't want to put it on with the paper to start with because I didn't want it to do exactly what the paper previously had done. So let's hope we've salvaged it. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think a little bit of paste wax on that now will just lift the last little bit off.
Yeah, it's not looking bad, is it?
No, so I'm going to put that on with a bit of paper rather than the Weebrax pad. Yeah, it's picking some off. You can see that on the paper. So if it doesn't work, what do? We turn it off and we start again.
Turn it off. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Got plenty of thickness of timber there.
And I'm not at all happy with that. It's really gunged up there. So I think that is what we're going to do.
It's
We're going to
partly,
turn it off.
I suppose, because the texturing is on sort of end grain there, isn't it? As it curves round
Yeah, it's a
a bit.
funny angle. So we'll take that bit off and we'll start from scratch again.
Yep,
But I
can
don't
be
think
done.
we'll be texturing it. I think we're just going to get rid of it.
That'll do it. John Scarborough says he loves that shape, Keith.
Thank you. It's a shape that sells well. So carefully pick it up on the definition line that we cut in. I'm trying to stroke this off rather than go berserk. We might end up with just a fraction left. Can you guys see it?
Yep, you just started. Right, let's tidy up that top edge there, isn't it? Bailey's Woodworks in.
Hello, Chris. It is Chris, isn't it? Yeah.
It is, yeah, I think so.
So the wrong way, I'm going uphill just that last little bit. See what we've got. I don't really want to spend a lot of time sanding that piece, so I've got a little bit of wax in that punky piece. Yes, you can see it. It's where that punk runs round there. So just need to take a little bit more off the middle there to get rid of the remaining texture.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Just there.
Yeah.
That's come out quite well. I think I'm going to take a little bit more out just here to make a definite line in it. Also to clear out the wax that had built up in there. So sort of a very flat bead, which is what you were sort of trying this afternoon.
I gave up.
But, yeah. It wants the transition between one part and the next, which is what we've got now.
Yeah, so that band is sort of inset then, isn't it? So
I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. That'll do for a beginner. So just quickly sand that off now without going onto the pre-waxed piece if I can. I'm starting at 240 because I've got a nice finish off of the tool. just coming up to each of the intersections with the paper. I've got it folded in half so that I can get a nice crisp line. And I don't need to go outside of that area. A little bit of 400 on there. It's exactly the same folded, so I've got a double edge to it and a sharp edge.
Rise the boys apologising for not seeing live today. Yes, I did do one, Roy, but it's on YouTube. You can watch it anytime. It's a couple of bud vases.
Right, so I'm not going to sanding seal that piece. I'm just going to go over it with some wax. So back to where we were.
David Heath, Guildford Carpenter's in.
Hello, David.
Apologises for being late. That's all right, David.
You're here. You're here, so don't worry about it. You haven't missed a lot, apart from a little bit of a revamp that didn't work out quite as it was hoped it would have done. So we're putting a little bit of wax on that bare wood. And I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes. And just have a look at... Right, we can go up to the other end now. So, I'm working 2 projects. Don't worry about it. What camera are we on, Andy?
That one.
We're on that one, so I think we need to go on to that one. No, we don't. We need to go on to that one.
So I'm a YouTube site. It'll be long delay.
Okay. Right. So there we are. We're on to that. So what do I need to take with me? I need to take the screwdriver.
That's the one we wanted with the oak vase.
Undo that one. So exactly the same. I'm going to put a little bit of wax on straight on top of the yellow with the Weebrax pad going over the black with the Weebrax pad with the wax on it. You can see a little bit of the yellow dye has come off. You can see a little bit of the black has come off. Not enough to worry about or warrant doing anything with.
I quite like the yellow on oak. I haven't tried that.
It just lightens it up a fraction, Andy.
Yeah, it's nice.
I sometimes do pens like that. It's not a fantastic bit of oak, but it was too good to not use.
Yeah.
And with the black on the bottom.
Yeah, that's come up well on it. It's nice.
And you've just got to, yes, you can see it coming up here.
Yeah.
The silver gilt in there.
That's right. Oh, yes, it's quite effective. Yeah, it picks the grain out, doesn't it?
I think before I cut that off, I'm going to actually give that a second coat of wax. Because it's a little bit dull on the black. I don't want to rub the gilt cream out. So like I said earlier, it's easier to put 2 light coats on than plaster it with 1 heavy coat and then wonder why you get in streaking. And a lot of beginners will get streaking because they're putting too much wax on and letting it sit and dry. John's asking me what colours I used on this one.
Yes, I was just going to come to that. Yep.
Right, the yellow is a Mylan Spirit dye, only because I'd got Mylans. And there is chestnut in the box as well, but I didn't pick it up. And the black, the bottom 2/3, is it's vinegar infused with steel wool and shaken. And that pot I've got is probably 5-6 years old, that keeps getting topped up. So, and it's worked with the tannins in the oak to give us this effect. It's not a ebony coloured oak, but it is actually darker than what it's showing on screen. You have to believe me on that one, because I'm standing here and I'm looking at it and looking at the screen.
It's so much more effective than putting a paint on, or
Yes,
an ebonizing lacquer, which
you
is
can
like a
see
paint. But you can actually see the grain through it.
the grain through it, and the silver is picked up in there. It is actually picking up quite well on the camera.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's good. That bit particularly.
Yeah, so we've got that all the way around, and the top, like I say, is just, it's a bit of turkey oak, so there's nothing of any brilliance with the oak. It's not as if it's a nice piece of English oak. It is English oak, but it's turkey oak. It came from what's the big estate down at Arundel, Andy?
It's the Arundel estate, isn't it?
It's the Arundel estate, but it's Lord so-and-so's, isn't it?
Norfolk, Duke of Norfolk.
Yeah, Duke of Norfolk. So it came off of his estate, and it was a piece that was actually cut in the woodyard down at the museum. So that's how I know the history of it. So nice colours in it, nice grain in it. So I'm just going to part this off now. Undercutting the base so that it sits on the outer edge. Just about there.
Yep, it's wobbling. There you go.
Yep. So there is it just wants a little bit of attention on the very edge, and I'll sand the pip off at a later date. But there's the first vase. I'm going to have to take it off so that it stands up. But, you can do that with a spindle roughing gouge. So that's got rid of that. So I think what would look nice in there would be that one. So
very pretty.
A flower in the vase, a rose in the vase. It's a silk one. So there's the first one, done and dusted. Let's put that away so it doesn't get knocked over. Grab me bits and pieces, go back to the other end. Lost the mouse. That's up here. So change cameras again. And I think it's that one. Yep. So I'm going to take that last bit of wax off now. Let's see what that looks like. Feels nice, looks nice from here.
It's getting a bit of a shine.
is the punkiness of the wood, which I can't do anything about, but there is the beauty of the cherry,
Lovely.
which I have emphasised and brought to the front. Just have a tidy up. Go in there at that angle. Get the parting tool from the other end. It's the only problem with working two lathes, but at least it gives you all a chance to see what was going on.
A couple of people have said, is that a new camera, Keith? Because it's looking very clear.
What, this one I'm on now?
Mm.
No, I've dusted the lens off.
Does help. Yeah.
I've
Wood
also
turning by
cut.
Barry just said it, and somebody else said
Yeah.
it earlier.
I've got a light that kills it at times, so I haven't got that one on at the moment, but that's bleaches it out. So
yeah, no, certainly a very clear picture. Nice.
again, cutting up to the centre of it so that it will sit when finished on the outer edge. That one's actually going to sit on the outer edge. So, where are we? Can't get far enough away. Yes, I can. That's the cherry one, which we've just turned. And I'm quite pleased with that. Quite like that shape. Quite like that style. I've got 3 or 4 different patterns that I use. There you go with a flower in the top. It does bring it to life. Bead gives it a beehive look, Keith. Okay, yep. I'll go with that. So that's the second one. So you can put that lot away. I do happen to have another blank, because what are we? We're only, we've got time to do one more.
37 minutes in, so.
Yeah. Not keeping anyone up, am I?
No.
So this again is the other half of the log, which is cherry.
We can't actually see it at the moment.
No, just let me do this up, and I'll adjust the camera, which I moved so that we could see it. So you can see the green in the cherry there.
Mm-hmm.
And as I come round to this corner, that is all the punky bit, because I think that was an end,
yeah.
and I took the punky bit out of the middle, I believe. So let's do a little bit of wood turning, shall we?
Roy's the boy says, what's the length of them? I assume he means the blanks. Or this blank.
Where did you put the tape, Andy?
Oh, I put mine away.
Yeah, that's why I can't find it. It's here somewhere. I had it last week. And the problem is I've done a little bit of work down here as well, so everything's got buried. But we've got this one. It's 7 inches, or just shy of 7 inches, and it will finish up at about 3 inches. The one I've just turned ended up as 6 1/8 by 2 7/8 diameter. So we didn't.
It was the vases he was asking about. So.
Right, and the little one, the black and yellow one,
oak one, yeah,
is 5 1/8 tall, and that ended up at 2 1/4. maximum. So,
Jennifer's Craft and Creations is in.
hi Jennifer.
Evening, Jennifer.
So let's go and find some tools and we can put some shape onto that then. Right. So rough it down to start with. Let's turn the extractor on, get rid of some of it. So handle well down, tool rest is too high.
Roy's saying, could you move the camera to the right a bit? We can just see the right hand end of it, but that's it. That'll do.
So handle well down, pick up the bevel, pick up the cup, run along. The reason I've got my hand over the top is to stop me eating the shavings as they come off. But if I didn't, you can actually see there's a nice shaving coming off there. It's cutting, it's not scraping.
Does supplement your diet, though.
Yeah. Yes, it's one of the 15 a week, isn't it?
Absolutely.
This cherry does work nice. And I don't know whether any of you have witnessed it before, but some cherries actually smell like cinnamon. So there we are, nice and round. So the next job I do is true up the top. So spindle roughing gouge. Start to dish it. Tell you what, give you all a treat. Let's go on to a new camera setup.
Yep.
I think it's not that one. I think it's that one. So this is directly looking at the end of what I'm doing. So hopefully you can see the tool, how I'm cutting, where I'm cutting. I get several comments that my tool rest is too low. Now, if it was too low, I would end up cutting well above center. But if you see where I traverse with the spindle gouge, come up and over in an arc, and I finish at center. And there was a big thing a few months ago that you caught the very center in the gouge. That's a Les Thorne trick he used to show us when he come to club to demonstrate. There's the pit. Pick it up and catch it. It's good practice.
Copperell wood turning is in, and Robbo is in as well. Hello, Robbo.
Hi, Robbo.
Brian at Hartwood Turning is in.
All right, I'm going to have to just increase your volume my end. Now I think that's giving me a bit more volume.
Yeah, you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. It was all right when there was no cutting going on. As soon as you start cutting, you do generate a bit of noise.
Yes.
So let's make a little divot in the centre. Drop the speed right back. Because I can. It's a bit too slow. Hand holding the drill. The drill will pick up centre. It's found the centre. That will pull itself in on the centre. Can't really see it, but that is pulling itself in without me putting it in the tailstock and winding it in. And that will be as true as you like. I'll show you in a minute once we get to the full depth of the drill bit.
Stuart angrily has got to go.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Stuart. Right, so there's the drill bit, and there it is, free spinning. That's how true it is. Yeah, I can do that because I've got variable speed, but I wouldn't suggest you do it if you haven't, because it could get a little bit lively. I'll make a slightly different shaped trumpet on this one. Hopefully that's not deafening you too much, guys.
No, it's fine. We can hear it, but it's fine.
Good. It's because I hadn't pulled the speed back up. But I am nearly 3 inches off of the tool rest. That much off of the tool rest.
Yeah,
so that's why we're getting a little bit of squealing, but am I worried? No.
Not even slightly.
Not even in the slightest, as Andy says. No. Right, that gives me a nice shape on the outside, or the funnel into it. Let's go back to previous camera so you can see from above. Is it that one? Or no, you don't want that one. Okay, I covered up my numbers. Number 4. 1, 2, 3. Should be that one. No, you're playing about now.
That's the one we had before.
I know. My cameras seem to self-adjust
That's the one.
to their own position. So I'll take the trumpet down a bit. Don't want it quite as big on this one. Providing you're careful and you get the bevel rubbing, you can actually do quite a bit of work with the spindle roughing gouge. The only disadvantage, this one is quite a wide one, it's 1.25 inches. So I'm going to revert back to the 1/2 inch spindle gouge.
They're having a little go at Brian about his tidy workshop, and Ben Jamin says he strives to keep his shed as clean and organised as Keith's.
Yep. I did have a tidy up before I come in tonight. I don't know whether you can see it. Yeah, look.
Everything in its place, yeah.
Yeah. All the... There you go.
Yeah, kick it under the lathe,
underneath. Yeah. I'm not house proud. That's Sue's job to be house proud.
Absolutely.
I keep it in the workshop most of the time.
Yeah, Brian's response to that is no, Ben, that's a low bar. Lol.
So what sort of shape are we going to do this one then, guys? I've got a 7mm hole down the middle, so I can get fairly tight. Do away with the neck on this one as such.
So a full-bodied one, eh?
Sorry?
A full-bodied shape then.
Yes. Yes, it's going to end up a bit like the Grecian urns. Without the handles on it.
The Linnykins is in. Says Kenny suggested a triangular shape.
Tell him to get the paintbrush out and carry on with the ceiling. Yep. Parting tool to get down to an area, but I can use this as a small skew. Possibly, well, it's definitely not the right thing to be doing with the parting tool, but you use the tools that give you the finish that you want. So I'm working down to a squint. So we've got a transition there. So I go back to the parting tool. I'm following around the collar there, just to give me a break. Can finally adjust the shape there.
Dale's in Maple Tree Studios.
Hello, Dale.
Evening, Dale. So I nearly missed you.
So this is actually going to be quite a nice piece of wood. There's not so much of the punkiness there as I thought would be, which is a bonus.
It is.
So I'm going to define the bottom, and I reckon the bottom could be somewhere around there. And then back to my baby spindle roughing gouge and work on the base profile.
Linnykins says almost sleepy time for me. We can't all be retired.
No.
But work on it. You'll enjoy it.
She does start early.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think she starts work at 7:30, so that means leaving home soon after 6:30 to get down, to get there on time.
Yeah, I've done that. Those days are long gone.
So I'm using the side wing, because these have got quite pronounced side wings, as a skew. And go backwards and forwards to using it as a skew, and you can see it shavings coming off. It's not being scraped. Don't want to go too much further, because I think that is going to be the shape that we're aiming for.
Yeah, nice and clean.
So something like that.
Yeah.
And that should show the grain as well. Yes, you've got the green, olive green. That's the
Punky bit's
what
not.
is the punky bit, but that's not too bad.
I can say it's nowhere near as bad as the other one, was it?
No, there's a bit of dark shake there, but I'm not worried about that. Let's sand that up and call it a day. Get rid of the tools, because I know Brian doesn't like them left on the lathe. Right, fully prepared for this end. Got no abrasive, but that'll do. So drop the speed back. Just going to rub over the shoulder with a bit of 80 grit, because I've got that handy. There was just a couple of tool marks that I could see, which have gone now. So we get straight off of that.
There's one on the cup at the top, isn't there?
Oh yeah, yeah. That'll come off with a bit of 240 in a minute.
Fine.
Just trying to find the 120. That's 120. I'm using the paper to pick up the shape rather than sticking my finger in there or using something sharp. I want to get down to that corner. I think that's got rid of your marks, mate.
It has.
And then I can pick up the corner again, just to sand around there. And like I say, this is not going to take a lot of sanding. Because we were quite lucky with the tool in. So that's 120. This is 240. Suppose I better do the inside of the flute as well. Not totally happy with that inside, so that's where it was chattering.
Oh right, yeah, yeah. So we can't see that. So
No, I'm just going to lightly put the chisel in the end and just make a couple of very light. And that's going to howl a bit now because there's not a lot of wood there. But that's got rid of the chatter that we developed on the inside. So now I can go straight on to 120. That's done. 240. That's done. Now I can work on the outside, which you guys can see. So we've got a mark around the middle there. that's emerged through the finer sanding. Just see it?
Hmm.
So I've got to go back. It is actually a tool mark.
Right.
For some unknown reason. But we're all human. Go back. I think you sand it out. I can still just see it now. I know it's there.
Yes. Yeah, but it's a lot better than it was. Yeah.
Yeah. That was 120, so we go back onto the 240. See if it still picks up. If it does, we know what we're going to do. I think
That's
that
better.
has fixed it.
Mhm.
There's still a little bit of a mark
A
there, Mike.
fraction there, isn't
Yeah,
there? Yeah.
yeah. Never be frightened to go back if you get these marks, because now's the time to get rid of them if you have got anything. You don't want to get it fully finished and you think, oh bother, there's a mark on there which I should have got rid of.
It's much more difficult later on.
When you've got wax on it and
You've got some
sanding
finish on
sealer
it.
on
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 120. Let's go over that with. I've just knocked you, but you're still in.
Yeah.
Still
No, we're
see.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 240. Stop it and see what it looks like. Oh, it's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely gone now.
Yeah. Much better.
There's a little bit of open grain just on that shoulder. Not sure that whether that will sand out or not, but now is the time to go for it if you can. This is the beauty of having reverse on there. I can sand both forward and reverse. I do quite a lot of my sanding in reverse. A, because it pulls the dust away from me straight down the dust extractor over the back where my hand is there. That's got rid of it all. Quite happy with that, Andy.
Yep. Looking good.
So let's turn the big sucker off.
I think I missed Webfoot Resin and Wood Creations coming in.
Oh God, you're sacked.
Oh yeah, I
I
apologise
can't
for
do
that.
that, can I? Can't sack you.
No, you could halve my wages
Mm,
with no problem at all.
that's a fair incentive. So this is a traditional shellac sanding sealer. And I thin mine about 50-50 with meths. And you have to use meths with shellac. Brush it on. Leave it for a few seconds just to soak in a bit.
As real simple things as come in.
And then we can wipe it off. Hello, Baz. So this is what we always used to use before any of the acrylics, the shellac, the celluloses
Yeah.
were developed. You just need to just get that to dry. That's one of the disadvantages of this. We can assist the drying a bit with the hot air gun. Doesn't want much, but it does just hang up. There you go. It does just make life a bit easier There are times I don't bother. I just go straight over it with the wax and Weebrax pad. Same one as we used in the past. Same pad. Massage it in. See what shine we can get on this. It's cherry, so it should be quite good. Put it on at a fairly low speed. That's about 250, 200. Creep it up. Massage it in. You can't see all the fine sawdust coming off because it's all being captured in the Weebrax pad. So massage that in. What I tend to do then, put a little bit more on, change the direction of travel. My chuck is locked on so it can't fly off. That is the essential thing to remember.
And Roy's the boy says, what type of pad is that, Keith?
It's a Weebrax pad. This one is equivalent to 1500 grit. You can buy them from Chestnut, Axminster. They all sell them.
Yeah, they're colour coded, aren't they?
Yeah, it's exactly the same as the Scotch pad you would use if you did any washing up, Roy. But you use the green one for your pots and pans, which is equivalent to about 600 grit. In the Merca range, because that's what this is. The next one up is a maroon, which equates to about 1200, and then the grey, which is this one, which equates to about 1600 grit. So that's the wax on. You don't need to leave it very long at all, because it's not one of those that's got massive amount of CFCs and whatever else in it. Lightly polish it off. You can see the shine starting to come. Just need to keep changing the paper so you've got a clean bit of paper to polish it with.
Yep, shining nicely.
Yeah, I think if we stop that, a nice sheen on that. Yeah, happy with that finish. So,
nice bit of grain on that too.
We'll part that off. There it is. That one's off. That will stand as it is, so that's good. So let's get the other one that we've already done. And then I can change the camera. And
the other two, in fact.
Yeah, the other two. Let's change the camera onto me cam, which, with any luck, is that one. It is.
Yep, red bag cam.
Yep, red bag cam. Oh, a little bit of air in. It's a bit. I'm actually going to turn the fire off because I'm not spending a lot of time down here after we finish. So.
And it is warmer than it has been, very much.
By a lot.
Mm.
There is the one we've just turned. How close can I get that?
Yeah, very nice.
See the grain in there.
Yeah. Can see that.
Going to bleach it out. Yeah, that's bleaching it out too much. So I'll put some pictures up on Facebook tomorrow. So there's
that looks completely different shape from when it was on the lathe. That
Yep.
camera elongates it, the one that's on the lathe. And when you're
Yeah,
holding
well,
it up there, it looks a
different
lot
ones.
shorter. Mm.
Yep. So that's we started off at just on 7, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That is 6 inches tall.
Yep.
And the maximum around the shoulders is 3 inches. So that's one. The other one in the same piece of wood is that one. Again, I can't get a good picture, a good shot of the grain.
We're getting a fair view of it. Yeah.
There's the
Bullseye.
green grain in that one. I think it just shows them off better if you've got a flower in the top. So, and there's the original oak one with the black chemically changed bottom and yellow dye added to the oak at the top just to lighten it a fraction, which actually works quite well with the black.
Yeah, it does.
And
very good.
The black has got, which you can't see under that.
There we can.
Just about a silver gilt burnished into the open grain of the oak. You might see it better there. Yeah, there's
lots of nice comments coming out, Keith.
So there's 3 bud vases, all different. They will all sell probably, the 2 big ones, the 2 cherry ones, that go up probably as 8, maybe 9, and the smaller oak one will go 6, maybe 7 pounds on the stall. So that is me done for the night. My double.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm here.
See. Yeah, caught you.
Yeah.
So,
just relaxing.
Yeah, I'd noticed that. That's why I thought I wasn't going to say anything. So that's me done for tonight. Now, the next one is me next Tuesday lunchtime.
That's right. Yeah.
Andy dips out next week. He doesn't get one.
Nope.
But then the following week, we both get one.
It's all the sheet here somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all worked out so that we've got the same amount of time each and same evenings and the same amount of lunch times each, so that we don't freeze our bits off in the workshop.
That's what you lunchtime.
Indoors. Yeah, you're not at all next week, and then we've got one each the following Tuesday.
That's it. Yep, and I'm the evening following.
You're
Tuesday.
the evening that one. Yeah.
15th. Yep, that's right. So I have a bit of paper. We
mix and match, but it works for us. So
yeah, it keeps it even, doesn't it? So.
Yeah. I'm not in here to be one up on Andy or whatever, because as far as I'm concerned, we're all equal. We all got different thoughts, different designs. So different styles, different methods of turning.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So thank you all for your comments. I will go through and look at them later and check them out, and I will get some pictures up on Facebook probably tomorrow. I'll probably come down here first and sand off the little pip that's remaining underneath and finish the bottom properly.
That's what I've got left to do on the ones from this morning. I haven't done that yet.
No.
So I shall get pictures posted.
So that's it, guys. So
good.
Without further ado,
nice simple project for
I will
people
say
who are
thank you very
starting
much for coming on. Hope you get a little bit of inspiration. And like Barry says, I'll see you at club on Sunday. Yes, you will, Barry. We're lucky. We've got a club. This will be the third one that we've had. So hopefully you guys are getting back to turning. You've got clubs that you can attend. But, thank you all for the nice comments. So I'm going to hit the end button, unless anyone's got a question, and you need to put it in pretty quick, because otherwise it'll be too late to answer.
Yep, cheers. I'll say goodbye.
And I'm going to say thank you very much and hit the off button. See you next Tuesday. What's the wood behind you under the red bag?
I can see a bit of you.
There's a bit of you. There's some acacia. There's a little bit of laburnum. There's a bit of silver birch. At general odds and ends. So nothing special, but nice and dry. There's a vase in this one when I get round to it, because it's got a double stem to it. So I'm hoping to get a little bit of a vase out of that.
Yeah, could look nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you all, and I'm going to say bye-bye.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Robbo, for coming in from Oz, and for all you foreigners that have dropped in. I'm glad we can do something about it. So goodbye, good night, thank you, and we're going.